Welcome to a new week in the Proactive Studio. Joining me this morning is Arovella Therapeutics CEO, Michael Baker. Michael, good morning.
Morning, Jonathan. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, you've enhanced your solid tumour pipeline with a new licensing agreement. Can you tell us who that is with and what the benefits of that licensing agreement will be?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a global exclusive license agreement with the University of North Carolina's Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center. And we're pretty excited by that because it does go a long way to enhancing our platform, particularly when we think about using the platform in solid tumours. And I'll talk more about our platform in just a moment. But in short, what we're aiming to give to patients with cancer is a dose of iNKT cells that have been engineered or supercharged, if you like, to find and kill cancer cells. And what we see when we combine our technology with this new technology from the laboratory of Professor Dotty is that we get approximately 9 to 10 times more of these iNKT cells in the body in these animal models. And what that leads to is really clear and significant increases in anti-tumor activity in a particularly nasty model of solid tumor cancer in pediatric patients.
And Professor Dotty, he's well known in this area, isn't he?
That's correct. He's actually one of the pioneers of CAR iNKT cell biology and development. So it's particularly exciting to have a relationship with somebody like that who has just got all that knowledge and background working, especially with iNKT cells. So delighted to have formalized the relationship with the global exclusive license agreement.
Michael, can you give us a bit of a background into the CAR iNKT cell therapy platform and the cytokine technology being developed?
Absolutely, and I'm delighted to, Jonathan. So what we're working on, it's what we call now it belongs to the basket of an immune therapy, but more specifically, it's a cell therapy. So what we're doing is actually taking human immune cells, and then we genetically reprogram them so they have what we almost think like to be as a guided missile on their surface to go and find and kill the cancer cells. So it has revolutionized the way we think about certain types of cancer treatments in the hematological setting. For example, with lymphoma and leukemia, we're seeing now that patients are living 10 years plus survival, which is great, right? So we're actually starting to liken that to cure. So it's a really important part of the treatment landscape moving forward. And what we've done by licensing this cytokine technology is specifically we're going to integrate that into our solid tumor programs. Now, naturally, solid tumors are known to be a little bit more difficult to tackle, and that's why we think having a cytokine technology in combination with our other programs with the iNKT cell platform is so important to give patients the best chance of success.
And that iNKT platform, you're developing that as an off-the-shelf solution. What would that mean for cancer treatment and patients moving forward?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And why we're so focused on having what we call an off-the-shelf or allogeneic, there's a range of terms to describe that. What it means is that we can have our product frozen in a freezer and pulled out of the freezer, and when a patient's eligible to be dosed, they can take that therapy. So that we see as a really important pathway for the landscape to take. What happens currently, and we have seen a lot of success in that space, is currently when a patient presents with a particular cancer type, in this case a lymphoma or leukemia, the immune cells are actually taken from the patient. They then go off to a lab to get genetically reprogrammed to include those guided missiles. They then get given back to the patient, so shipped all over the world and manufactured in real time. Now, what this does is it drives up the complexity and, of course, then as a result, the cost of getting these therapies to patients. So what we're aiming for is to use the iNKT cell platform, which we know we can give from a healthy donor to many patients. There's no issues in doing that, and use that to get these types of therapies out to more people, which we think would be enormously advantageous for the cancer community.
And I just want to touch on Professor Dotty one more time. Within the announcement, he said that the university's discovery with the CAR iNKT cells was unexpected. Does that point to a positive future?
Yeah, it does. And I think that's, again, what we've found ourselves in terms of the iNKT cell space. We are one of 4 companies globally working with this type of cell type, the iNKT cell. So that already puts us in a bit of a niche area. And then when we look at the cytokine technology, the IL-12-TM, now we'll actually be the only iNKT cell therapy company globally working with that particular technology. So we do see that we're now even further differentiated. And going back to that comment from the professor, I believe that would relate to when you do these things in a research and experimental setting, you don't always know what you're going to find out. And what was observed when they utilized this technology and integrated it into the iNKT cells was a pretty magnificent and complex rewiring internally of those cells, which is what we believe leads to the increased cell number, the increased persistence of those cells, and then that better tumor activity. So absolutely, when things like that are unexpected, that's always very exciting for the scientific community.
So just on that, Michael, what's next with the licensing agreement and what's next for the company?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few things on our basket for 2024. First and foremost, I'll just refer back to it. It's our lead program, ALA-101. We mentioned earlier in the year that we've successfully completed the GMP manufacture of the lentivirus. So the key steps for that are to keep working through the manufacturing, scale up, to produce clinical material to start clinical trials in 2024 in blood cancer patients, which we're very excited to do. We're continuing to work with our Claudin 18.2 CAR that we licensed from Sparks Group late last year. So we're looking to get some proof of concept data for that. And of course, then integrating our IL-12 technology into the solid tumor programs that we've got underway. So we're expecting it to be a pretty full year, but certainly excited to take our lead product into clinic.
Michael, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Take care.